So, welcome to Conversations with Tenzin. Today, I have my good friend Agustina from Argentina. I'm doing this podcast because I meet a lot of wonderful people, interesting friends on campus and in my life. So, I don't want to forget you and your stories. So,
Probably you won't. I'm too annoying as to be forget.
welcome, August. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, yeah, August, I'll start by asking the first question that I always ask is I want to know your story. How have you reached here? How did you end up becoming what you do? So, tell me, who is Agustina?
I will start from the last part. Who is Agustina? Agustina is someone that really believe that we can make things not only different but better. And I think that is what brings me here. I was born in a really small, well, not that small, but a small city in Argentina, Mar del Plata, which is on the coast. I studied there in the public university, which for me was something that marked my life because there I get in contact. I went out from my bubble. I have always been privileged in the way I live. My parents basically gave me everything. I went to a really nice private school. So the public university gave me that opportunity of trying to understand the world beyond myself and to get in contact with people that came from a lot of different realities. And as I was raised, like my parents have an active participation in politics, so I have always been related to that kind of living, like doing campaigns, advocating for stuff and everything. So after I finished my university, where I was also involved in politics in the university politics.
Which university did you go to?
National University of Mar del Plata, Universidad Nacional de Mar del Plata. I studied law there, so everything was a little kind of related, like try to fight for a more equal world, understanding the law, understanding how the world works. But after I finished, I completely decided that I wanted to dedicate myself and my life and my professional goals to the public service. So I moved to the capital city, to Buenos Aires, and started having some courses and some leadership courses and all that. I pursue my master degrees in public policies as well. And at the same time, I started working first in the Congress with two Congress people. And then I get into the City of Buenos Aires from a government perspective. And I started working in the integration and urbanization of informal settlements in the City of Buenos Aires. Even though Buenos Aires is the richest city in my country, we have more than 48 slums or informal neighborhoods, depending how you want to call them. So the problem is there. And I don't see myself working in something different that is not like trying to change people's life. Even though it's small, even though it's like, of course, you are not the only person, and even government is not the only stakeholder that can change everything. But if I'm given a spot and if I'm given a place where I can contribute from, I will definitely will be there. So basically, that's my story. And besides that, I love to dance. I practiced ballet for so many years. I went to my school was a musical school, so I also developed my art part or path of my life, which also embraced me and enriched myself because it also helps me to think outside the box, to be related to my body, try to connect with people from some other spot, space, point of view. And I really love that part of myself.
I know you're a lawyer. So, did you always want to be a lawyer? When did you decide that, yeah, this is what I'm going to be? And did you have something like, when we were a kid, we say like we want to be this. And then at some point, we like, okay, now how did that transition happen?
I don't know if my mom is going to understand this because she doesn't speak English, but mom always says that when I was a child, like all my friends start saying like, oh, I want to be a vet because they want to take care of animals and dogs and everything. And I was like, I want to have a job that has lunch meetings. Like, that was my concept of working, lunch meeting. I'm not sure if I wanted to be a lawyer like since I was a kid, but I have been always been related to the looking for justice. Like when I was in college, I participate in this research group. Let's say that first it was about democracy, then how the social media get into democracy, then about bullying. We created like here in MIT will be a lab, but related to bullying when I was like 15 or 16, and it was because my main concern was like how it is possible that some people get into schools and start shooting other what is behind that person. And so when I was like 20 years ago, it was trending topic speaking about bullying. So okay, what is going on? We developed like a survey and we tested in some high schools abroad my city. So I have always been related to this kind of topic of okay, how can I help? In the beginning, I wanted to pursue something more international. But then I have a conversation with someone that told me like, study law. It will give you like a broadened perspective, and then if you then are interested in something international, then you can jump into international. But try to study law in the beginning. And I love it. I love my career. I love to be a lawyer. I love how my mind as a lawyer thing. Like I'm really connected to that part of me that I also want like some order, but at the same time trying to figure out how to go beyond that order. Okay, what is written and what can be done besides what is written. And then my international path was related to me because I was also looking like for different courses or experience that take me abroad and came back to my country. And for the last 5 years, I have been vice president of the biggest political organization around the world, which is UC, the International Union of Socialist Youth. So I also contribute not only politically, but also with my, like trying to pursuing what I was in my child mind. Okay, I want to do something international, something that has impact. And so somehow life connect each other, and I'm really happy about all that all those experiences. Maybe I could have done more, but I'm really happy where I am.
Yes,
and that also led me to here to MIT to meet you.
Yes, you will do more. This is not the stop.
For
I
sure.
fully believe that all of us are going to go out there and do something more. But it's interesting because you are, I think, one of the 4 people I've met. Now it's very interesting for me because you're a lawyer who is doing urban planning. And then we have another fellow from Mexico who is an urban planner, but he told me that I need to study law. And when I went to Minneapolis last time, I met 2 fellows. One is a lawyer, and he says, now I want to study urban planning. I think there's a connection between law and urban planning, because the lawyers feel that they need to study urban planning and urban planners feel that they need to study law. That's a very interesting connection that I found.
I think that intersection is because we care about cities and how we live. And law especially, I mean, you have different stage of law, or not a stage, but path of law. But at the end, law is how we regulate life and how we defended the most undefended people from the power of the most powerful people, or at least is how I understand law. So it's really connected when you think about societies and you think about cities. Where are the poor people living? What access do they have to the rest of the facilities or services in the city? Why they don't have access to housing? Why the jobs that they have access are lower paying or lower, how do you say?
Lower wages?
Exactly. Like, so, and at the end, I mean, it's not only about law because life is beyond law. But at some point, not regulate that. And if we are disconnected with how we think cities, especially in this time when climate change is going to be an issue, and for example, I'm from Argentina, and my neighbor country is Brazil. Brazil, which is a really big and strong economy and country. Last week they have a major flooding in the middle of the city and in one of the cities, and many people was dead because of that, is dead because of that, but also many people lost everything. And where is these people going to go now?
They're
Like,
displaced.
so you have displacement because of climate change to another city or to another part of the city. Okay, how we regulate that? And the other day I was speaking with a friend, like maybe we need to change the way we can decide, because we were speaking about local governments. Okay, who can vote in local governments or not? Especially now that people is moving away, that you are not staying in a place forever. How are we got an example, migration? These people that are now displaced from their houses, not because they choose these, but because of climate change. They are going to move to another city. Are they going to be able to make decisions in our city? Probably not, because our...
Do they have the same rights?
Exactly.
Yes.
So
We had this wonderful workshop in Washington. Remember
like
the guy with the rights.
Yes,
So
exactly.
when they're displaced, and when you're in the area, you have the rights. But when you're displaced, do you get to take the same rights? That was an amazing discussion.
So I think we need to start rethinking that, and law is a way of rethinking, because as far as we live in this system, law is the one that regulates it. Maybe tomorrow from MIT or from some other part of the world came better ideas, but so far this is the best system we have, because law is the way to defend the unpowerful people from the powerful ones. So we need to start like rethinking how we are going to live in this new society, and that is super connected to cities.
So my next question is, what is your plan going ahead? What do you want to do?
For sure, I will pursuing a politics career. Like, I don't see myself in other place. That is what not only I'm good at, but also what inspire me. What is...
And I think it's also something you're passionate about.
Exactly. Like, so I'm always thinking about politics and how this is going to work, and how these stakeholders are going to understand each other. Like, that is my passion. What that means, I don't know, but probably, like, we are currently going through a really difficult time in my country, not only because of the poverty rate, but also about the economic crisis, and also like the new leadership, which is something that I'm always like trying to question why this is happening, not only in my country, but around the world. Like, why some leaderships that are erratic, that are aggressive, and
nationalistic,
and also like there is something about this kind of leadership, like they don't know anything about the job they are pursuing. Like, I'm not saying they can do that, but like, if you have an illness, you want and you need a surgery, you want the best surgeon to operate you. Like, someone who is prepared, who has been studying for many years, that has been like thinking about the model and how to make the better surgery and whatever. President is not like that. Like, give me the one who is more erratic and doesn't know anything about it. And it's like, I have been prepared for the last 15 years of my life to pursue a career in politics, to be better, to study, to have conversations, to go deep into the insight. Like, so currently I'm like questioning myself, like, how so, and how we can connect differently, and how we can show that being prepared for the position is really important. It's not something you can take for granted. So probably I will focus on that once I'm back. And of course, I'm going to continue being related to projects that have social impact, because it's what motivates me. Like,
so that was my next question. What motivates you?
Like, in the beginning, I say I'm someone who really trusts and believes that we not only can make things different, but better. And in a world that is going through so many challenges, migration, climate change, and xenophobia, wars because of religions, And then poverty rate and inequality rate that are really impressive and aggressive and scary at the same time. Like, we can't look around, look to the other side and continue. I wouldn't be feeling comfortable if I do that. So I will go back to Argentina, because one of the things that I realized being here is like, I love my country more than I was aware of. And I want to contribute there. Like, someone says in a conference I went during this month, like, we can do a lot of things around and everything, but we will never have the impact we can have at home.
Yes.
Because we know the actors, we were raised there, we understand the culture. Even though you can be the best in your field and you can go to a really nice international organization or company or whatever, like following your path, but it wouldn't be the same as if you're home working on that. And that really touched me. And so I'm going to go back to Argentina. I'm going to be working on social impact projects, and I want to be cooperating in the dialogue between private sector and public sector. Like, for me, that is the new, not new, because there had this collaboration has been going on for years so far, but we need to think different. We need to start thinking in a different model of society, where it's not only the state asking the private sector, hey, give more money, or the private sector saying, hey, have better conditions for me to grow. It's something deeper. We need to start thinking on how we connect these two stakeholders together. And I will be working there for sure. That's my thing. That's what motivates me. And also, is like, maybe this is arrogant or something like that, but that is what I'm good at.
You can sense your passion in politics. But when we talk about politics, it's always associated with corruption. So that's why I feel like a lot of good actors don't take part in politics, because they say, oh, it's dirty, it's not my job, I better do this, that's not my work. So that's the perception that politics has in our part of the world.
In every part of the world, I think, like, first of all, we need to there are a lot of people, good people, working around the world, not gaining much more money as they can be doing in private sector, because you are a public servant, and you need to understand that as well. Like, when you pursue a career, like, if you are honest and want to do the things right, like, one of the decisions you make is like, I'm not going to be rich. I will have enough as to live comfortable, and that's okay, because my destiny is, what I'm looking is something else. But besides that, we need to come up with a sex appeal discourse about that, about integrity, about honesty, which is not sex appeal at all, because today, especially in the social media era, where everyone wants to exaltate their personality and say, hey, my life is beautiful, I'm here, and make a really nice TikTok,
in a vacation.
It's really difficult to do that today, because, hey, honest people, maybe it's not fancy, I'm living how I can, like, I'm not going to this luxury hotel vacation or whatever, I'm just enjoying life normally. But we need to come up with an idea that is a sex appeal way of living.
Wonderful.
In order to counteract corruption, what is all around the world, it's not some places have more than another. Like, yeah, maybe you can have more than another, but I mean, everywhere there is corruption. But also everywhere is a lot of people who is getting up really early every day, who is not being paid as much as they could be paid in other places, and that they are doing a lot with really needed resources in general. And those people are the ones who maintain the state. And they are silent, and they are working, and most of the time, long projects depend on those people that has a name and a surname. And they are not the ones that came up in newspapers. So I think, as a society as a whole, I'm not saying like pointing out the corruption is bad. No, we need to do that. But as well, we need to start pointing out the good models of politics. If we want to change that. And also because a lot of people is quitting to pursue a political career because they don't want to be that, or they say like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do nothing, and we are losing a lot of resources
Yes.
in politics because of that. So I think we need to start changing the narrative, because otherwise only the corrupt people is going to be there.
Yes.
And
Sadly.
it's not good for anyone.
So I wish you all the best, August.
Thank you.
And we all know that you will do something great back home with the passion that you have. And I think now with the right tools and the knowledge that you have got from this program, it's not the end. I know you'll go ahead and do more programs, keep learning, and keep making yourself better and better. And this is just going to make you ready for that right time. So we are all rooting for you.
And I'm going to go to Bhutan to learn about happiness.
Yes, you're always welcome. All of you are welcome. Thank you for listening to Conversations with Tenzin. Like I said, I'm doing this podcast because I meet a lot of wonderful people, amazing stories. I don't want to forget people and their stories, especially their stories. So this is the reason why I'm doing this podcast. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you.